but it doesn't give me the cross posting. Okay, I believe we are live. Okay, beautiful. I didn't get the additional settings, but that's okay. We can push it through later. That's fine. Okay, welcome to the Digital Toolkit 2021. I'm just sharing my screen with everyone. Beautiful. I think we can all see my screen now. Yeah. Excellent. So buzzed with energy today. We've got some guest speakers on with us today who are all on Qoin, and not to mention the panel with us from Digital Toolkit. Don't forget that we run this session every week at 1:30 for small businesses to help get them found, get paid, and grow their business online. So today's session is just reminding you that we've got the April giveaway for our Digital Toolkit champions. So anyone who is sharing our content, engaging with our content, so comment, like, and share it across the board so that we can get more people finding the toolkit and getting more value from the digital experts that are on the panel. So please do like the toolkit page and share our events across so we can get more people watching the toolkit. So just continuing from last month, spreading the word about the Queensland Small Business Month events, particularly in Logan. They've got, I think, more than 20 or 30 events scheduled for the month of May. So please do check that out. Without further ado, I will be introducing the session and handing over to Kay Ridge, who will be running the Qoin segment for today. So introducing Qoin for Business. But who do we have on the panel today? We've got myself, Katrina Poranek from Ranking Australia. We've got Kay Ridge from Dash Social. We have Kerry Saffron from Altitude Business Solutions. Nathan Morrison from Futurity Marketing. We have Carly Reading from Inkbot VA, and we also have a guest speaker, and huge welcome to Shane Anderson, Qoin Master Agent. So thank you for being with us today. So who's regularly on the panel? We've got a range of businesses, all in the various different digital specialties. So please do make sure you register for the Digital Toolkit to take advantage of our knowledge and experience. So just quickly, myself from Ranking Australia, we are SEO, websites, Google, everything to help you get found on Google. Not to mention founder of the Digital Toolkit and also co-founder or co-owner of the Hot and Healthy Academy for Women in Business. Encord is with us every second week, and they are an amazing web platform, Australian-based and supported. They're amazing, and they kick WordPress's butt, literally, in speed and simplicity. Over to Kay. Thanks for running the session today.
You're most welcome. Hi, everybody. I'm Kay Ridge from Dash Social. We are a social media business that predominantly works in organic content. I'm also a Qoin agent, so hence why I'm so excited to talk to you all today.
Beautiful. Thanks, Kay. I think we need to update your slide as well to add a Qoin element there as well, if you like. Over to you, Kerry.
Hi everybody, my name is Kerry Saffron. I'm from Altitude Business Solutions, and we work with small business owners to help take the overwhelm out of digital technology. So anything from social media accounts to websites to if you're having problems to get things to link, that's us.
Brilliant. Thanks for being with us today, Kerry. Over to you, Nathan.
Hey, I'm Nathan from Futurity Marketing, and we specialize in lead generation for local businesses and e-commerce. We're moving more and more into the e-commerce space, so it's an exciting arena to be in, and we're also working with Qoin a bit, and it's exciting to see how that's really generating income for people in this small business space particularly. So thanks for coming along today, Shane.
You're very welcome.
Brilliant. Thanks, Nathan. Over to you, Carly.
Hi everyone, I'm Carly. I'm from Inkblot VA. We're an Aussie virtual assisting company. Really just loving all of this work that's coming around. Thank you 2021, really appreciate it. Kick 2020's butt. We're supporting companies who just hate the admin tasks. We do general admin. We support micro to medium business owners who aren't wanting a permanent arrangement, who don't want an employee, they just want help. So we are those people. And today, well, as of last week, we're now Qoin registered merchants, and this could not come at any better time. So I am dead keen to find out all the questions. I have a page and a half of questions, thanks Kay, that we're going to be walking through. And if anybody else who's watching or is about to join us, please don't hesitate, put questions in the chat bar, in the comment section in our live. I'll keep an eye on it and we'll make sure that your questions are answered. Hit me.
Brilliant. Thanks, Carly. And just a word for everyone. Carly reading Inkblot VA. I cannot live without them in my life. They are amazing. So please do, if you need a VA, give her a call. So just before we jump in and hand over to Kay, I'd like to quickly get Shane to introduce himself. So over to you.
Hi, everybody. I'm really happy to be here today. So my name is Shane Anderson. I've done a lot of different businesses around the globe, everything from car repair businesses to online different businesses. I have spoken on stage in Africa, in Kenya, in Japan, in New Zealand. I even was lucky enough to speak in the United States in front of 27,000 people at the AT&T Stadium. My specialty is down-to-earth Aussie business practices. Doing the little things right and understanding that you can leverage digital technology nowadays to really harness your business and also give you exponential growth. So that's my expertise.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us today, Shane. It is a pleasure to have you with us. Now, I will hand over to Kay. Let us into your amazing world of Qoin, answer our questions and show us the all the things that we need to know about Qoin.
Now I'm just going to put on a our slideshow that can sort of explain, and we'll answer a lot of your questions anyway. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Great. No idea where she's standing, but it looks good. All right, so let's just get started. So what is Qoin? It's a digital currency. It's an Australian initiative actually from the Gold Coast that's helping participating merchants to earn Qoin from new customers. So it's creating a new sales channel. You can offset everyday business and lifestyle expenses and improve your cash flow. And hold Qoin as a digital asset for potential growth, improving buying power. So what happens is the more merchants that we have on board, the more opportunity we have to use our Qoin, the more it opens up to everywhere. And Qoin is definitely looking to go worldwide. So if we look at business itself, what is the most important for your business today? So out of that, what do you want more of? Katrina? You're mute, hun.
Course, that good old mute button. Definitely fee-free merchant trading would stand out, and obviously more customers.
Yeah. Anybody else like anything on that list? How about all of them?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we go back and we have a look at where it started, the original owners of Qoin, barter card. So what they do, and then what we say is how Qoin works, it's basically a trade. So, you know, you started at a barter card, it then went to sort of like gold, and obviously you can't carry around a lot of that. So they manufactured metal and paper money. And then from that, we went into plastic cards, which incidentally took 15 years to come out, be accepted. I remember the first time actually I went onto an FPOS machine, and I think I withdrew $1 10 times because I just couldn't believe that this machine would give me money. Okay, I'm that old. Anyway, then it went from that to electronic money, and now we're looking at cryptocurrency or digital currency or digital tokens, whatever you want to call it. So has anybody heard of Bitcoin? Yeah, see all the nods, great. Well, Bitcoin at the moment, well, in March, its value, it was launched in 2009, and it first traded at 8 cents. Now, one Bitcoin is worth $49,500. It's probably, it fluctuates a little bit. I've seen it up as high as 65,000 and as low as about 39. So it's going really well. You should all have heard of Ethereum. And another one that they have is a Binance Coin, which can be used as a payment method. It's a utility token. So one of the things that we look at when we look at a business is that we have business from walking in, website and online, your general advertising and print media, and word of mouth. So what we know is that when we look at full pie, there's a little bit missing that perhaps we could add some more business to. You've already paid for your overheads, so your electricity, your wages, you know, that should all be taken up on your Qoin, as in cash clients. So what we're looking at is that portion that's not taken up, that you've already covered your overheads. So let's look at a different income stream and look at how you can attract other customers to come to your business that normally wouldn't. And they're going to be coin trading customers. So this is what we call idle capacity. And we know from past history that in any business, on average, there's 25 to 35% of your business is in idle capacity. So what does that mean? It's a vacant room, it's downtime, it's slow moving goods, etc. So what we want to do with Qoin is fill that up with our coin merchants. And we do that by creating a digital asset, which is you earn coin from new customers. Your coin is now an asset. You spend it to increase your cash flow. So don't use your cash flow, use your coin wherever you can. We'll talk about where we can spend it, and hold the potential future growth and to improve buying power. It is a little bit like you would have in a share, however, it can fluctuate. It can go up, it can go down. And I'm not a fortune teller, so I can't tell you how it can go. I can only report and display what we have now and what our history has been in Qoin. So let's look at your business. So we know that you have, without Qoin, you've got the spare capacity, you've got your turnover and your expenses. But with Qoin, you can look at your spare capacity, you can turn that spare capacity into Qoin, which allows you to spend on all these items because you're going to be using your coin, not your cash, okay? Now, sorry, I should rephrase that. With your turnover, which you have using your cash, you would be paying your rent, your wages, your electricity, your cost of goods, and your car maintenance. But I know for a fact that there are some organisations that will accept in Qoin printing, stationery, advertising, marketing, maintenance, holidays, health, and lifestyle. All right, so what that does is Qoin creates a profit, leaving more cash in your business. So let's look at a new global currency. So Qoin travels on the Qoin blockchain. Now, it's built on what they call a quorum platform, and quorum was designed and came about through JP Morgan being the largest private bank in the world and Microsoft partnership initiative. So it's easy to use, it's secure, it's private, and it's robust. So what our idea behind Qoin is to build the world's largest shopping community. So for the month of February, when you sign up, merchants earn 20 Qoin to spend for completing their directory listing. And there are 5 stages of that. That's why you need to go through an agent like myself. Now, there are over 200 independent accredited Qoin agents across Australia and New Zealand. So I'm one of 200. So let's look what's happened in the past. So you can see here that when it started in April 2020, You can see that slowly it's been going up. You can see the Australian dollars on the right-hand side, and you can see the number of merchants on the left-hand side. So what we've also done is that we've introduced a place where buyers and sellers can interact in the Qoin marketplace. And on your wallet, it's called the Q Shop. And it's now been upgraded so that you've actually got 3 different areas. So you've got business, I believe you've got services, and I can't remember offhand, Shane, you might need to help me what the third one is.
Products.
I knew you'd know. So your Qoin wallet is simple and easy. It's done off the app, whether it's an Apple app or your Google Play app. Quick onboarding, safe and secure biometrics, so using your face or your fingerprint. Simple to send and receive transactions, and it has this Q Shop which has the built-in directory in it. So what we do is that we get the customers, they use a QR code, which you will find if you push the send button on your wallet. It will bring up a QR code. What it also has, if you tend to do things electronically and you're not in space with them, down the bottom, you can copy that code and send it to them, and that's actually your QR code. So we can then spend it with merchants, we can spend it on the Q Shop, and we can pay any Qoin wallet holder. There's also this thing called BTX. Now, I will put in there that BTX, you know, as an organization, we're only a year old. So there are some things that we're still learning, like any new business, and BTX is still in its infancy, okay? But they do have withdrawal limits, and you can currently get $125 a day, but it is subject to buyer and seller demand. So if there's no buyers out there, then you can't sell it. It's as simple as that. Same as if you did any shares, you have to have a buyer and you have to have a seller to have a transaction. So when we have a look at the opportunity for the future, and you can see down the bottom here, these are all of our general advice, warnings, buy and sell Qoin. But you can see in relation to the number of merchants compared to the Qoin value. And before I came on board, I had a look at the Qoin value. It's currently at $8.30. Now that's a trading value, which means if I trade between Carly and I, it trades it today at $8.30. Because that's what it is, and it's in current time, okay? Keep in mind that we're talking about trading values here. So let's look at where Qoin is going and why you should come on board. We spoke about in relation to holding on to it as a digital asset. So we know that in 2021 first quarter, we had a master trading event. We have regulatory approval applications for the USA, South Korea, Japan, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Middle East, and the Pacific Islands. And I would personally like to thank Qoin for any of this men's sports, making sure that we can absolutely see where Qoin is plastered. You can't have watched any sports if you haven't noticed it's actually on the back of their shorts when they're bending over. It's a nice scene. So thank you, Qoin. In the second quarter, we launch in UK, Singapore, and South Africa, and then we're looking at regulatory approval applications in those countries, and we've done the introduction of Qoinville, which we're all part of. Third and fourth quarter, we're launching in Thailand, Switzerland, and Canada. So you're now starting to get the picture about how we want to be worldwide. We'll launch in the USA, Middle East, and South Korea, and introduction of Qoinville phase 3. So let's look at Qoin's positive impact in your business. New customers, zero join fees, cost you nothing to join. We can trade with each other. Qoin takes no money for that either. So that's your complimentary online advertising in the directory. You can build digital assets with Qoin and earn 20 Qoin to spend for completing your directory listing. So on $8.30 times 2, you're looking at about $16.60. We also have this opportunity where you can buy a merchant package. And Carly, I think you were asking me about this earlier. So what you can do is if you want money now and trading, you're just starting, you can actually purchase a block or a pack. So it's if it's under 2,500, we call it a block. If it's above that, we call it a pack. And this is where a lot of people are starting to spend their money. Okay, the best idea if you're looking to do this, contact me so that we can get you a header and get you on board. That's the end of my slideshow. So I can stop sharing that and we can come back. So did that solve some of your questions?
Yeah.
Great.
Cleared it up for me, Kay. Yes, thanks.
Okay, great. So how about asking us some questions? So I'm going to put Shane on the spot in a minute, and he thinks he was here for a free lunch. I've just got news for him. He's going to be asked lots and lots of questions.
I think Carly's got some questions lined up for us. Carly?
I do, yeah. Okay. All right. The first one was answered. The next one is, okay, so as a brand new person here with a brand new account, still sparkling in the package, what are the tax questions to ask given the value of a coin fluctuates over time? Like what kind of things do I need to capture to make sure that I'm giving the correct information on?
Okay, I can explain that on what I do. So I have a company called Dash Social, and I have clients. In fact, I've got 10 clients on Qoin at the moment. Now, with them, what I do is I send them an invoice and I charge the GST. They pay me in Qoin, and unfortunately, the tax office at this point won't accept Qoin. So I pay the tax office the GST. All right.
Yep.
The only other thing that you may be up for at the end of the year, and this is something that you would have to discuss with an accountant, is capital gains.
Mm-hmm.
So I have two ways that I record it, because I'm sure that's going to be your next question, is I use Xero. So I have a bank account, and I use the ANZ Bank. That's one of my accounts. I have another account, which is Petty Cash, and another one called Qoin. So what I do is I invoice, as I would normally any customer, whether they pay me cash or Qoin. But when it comes to receipting that money, it depends which bank account I use. So if they pay me cash, it would go into the ANZ Bank account. If it's Qoin, it goes into the Qoin account.
Very well answered, Kay.
Thank you.
Definitely. Carly, did you have any other questions?
Yes. So, okay, so in my mind, I'm thinking it's like a payment gateway in slight comparison to PayPal, because I know it, right? So if there's any disputes, how does it get resolved? You know, I'm a service-based company, so it doesn't happen quite as much for me.
Yep.
But if somebody wants that refund or hasn't sent you the right thing or whatever, like, is there a governing body? Is there a
better off? Cryptocurrency is, the beautiful thing about cryptocurrency is it is deregulated, meaning that we sit outside of certain regulations. But think of it more, instead of thinking it more like PayPal, think of it more like cash. If you hand somebody cash and they want to do the wrong thing by you, there is not a lot of avenues for you to actually get that back. The digital wallet that you get, and when you download your digital wallet, your Qoin wallet, that is your responsibility, meaning no one else can access that. The seed phrase that you have locks up that wallet. You write that seed phrase down, which is a 12-word encryption, and then you save that offline. Don't keep that online. Don't keep a photo of that. If somebody has that, they have access to your account. And realistically, think of that as the key to unlocking a digital cash account. That's exactly what it is. So if you think along those lines, you'll be a lot safer. Then when people say, you know, like, is it safe? Well, it's a lot safer than cash. I can tell you that right now. I don't know how many Australians go to the beach and hide their cash and their wallet in their shoe as they go for a swim. But that's not the safest way to go about it. But if you think of the algorithm behind the calculation of, well, like, if you, let's put this a different way. When you open up an ANZ account, they will give you a credit card, and that has a 4-digit PIN number. Okay, a very high ranking one may have 6 digits. So that's anything from 0 to 9, and there's 6 of those. Imagine what the variations would be if you had 26 letters of the alphabet and any number of letters in those words, and there was 12 different words. The mathematical equation to be able to crack into that is so astronomically low that the same statistic would be to think that a storm front could go through a dump and accidentally build a working 747. That's the same mathematical statistic that would be required to accidentally crack into a crypto wallet. So can it be done? Yes, it can be. Mathematically, it can be. But it's a very small amount and much safer than the shoe at the beach.
Can I also mention something there as well, Carly, is that when somebody pays you in Qoin, it's pretty much done instantly, and they should be able to show you the transaction, which has a block number, and that block number will match up with what you have in your transactions. Okay, so it's fairly instant. And so everybody that's on Qoin knows that as soon as they make a transaction, they need to show the person either a screenshot if you're not there, or in front of them and go, yep, I've just paid you, here it is here. Here's the block number, which is what you match up.
Yeah. Okay. Surprisingly, that's all of my questions been answered.
Nice. Okay, so I have a couple of questions, unless anyone else wants to go first.
I've got some, but you can go first, Katrina.
Okay, no worries. What advice do you guys have with regards to the seed phrase? Now, I've been actively trading on Qoin for a while now, and even I had a major stress. I almost had a heart attack literally only an hour ago. Where's my seed phrase? Because I updated my phone, and I did that before making sure I had my seed phrase on hand. Thankfully, I had my old phone, which still had the Qoin app active, and I was able to retrieve both of my seed phrases. And thank goodness, because I now have a very clean desk, but I couldn't find anywhere where I'd placed my seed phrase, and I wrote it down. I know I wrote it down, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So what advice do you have for newcomers, for people who are actively trading on Qoin, to make sure that we have our seed phrase on hand? Because 12 words, it's not, it's not a 6-digit number, as you say.
Yeah, so look, I'll answer first, and then Kay might be able to back me up here. But it's the one thing that I instantly tell people to do, because they don't understand the parameters. They think that if they lose the seed phrase and they download a new, or do exactly the same thing as yourself did, or I did it the other day. I just went and got myself a new phone, and I cleared out my old phone before I realized, hang on a second, and now nothing works. And it's one of those things that you can't ring Qoin. Qoin can't answer that question. They can't access your wallet. That responsibility does lie in your hands. There's a great book called Bitcoin Billionaires. It follows the two twins that were effectively the first billionaires in Bitcoin, and they went as far as to break this seed phrase down into 3 individual 4-word blocks, and then move those 4 words between 3 different banks in 3 different states. And only they knew how those words connected back together, because they already understood what phase. Now that's going to the extreme, but what I would say at a bare minimum is keep it where you would keep your passport, keep it where you would keep your important documents that you need. Everybody should have a certain amount of hard documents that should be kept somewhere safe. That's where you would keep your seed phrase. It's written down on a piece of paper. It's not a digital photo. It's not something that you think. And then if you're like me, I put it into a story, and then I only know how that story deciphers, so that I know what 12 words are my seed phrase.
Couldn't say it better.
Story.
Sorry?
Okay, that's different, but yeah, awesome. Okay, I really love the passport idea. I think that's, I'm definitely not going to lose my passport, but 12 little words is something that we've kind of got to wrap our head around, because we're in a digital age, right? So having something that's on a piece of paper is disposable for us. So
we've got these horror stories of people that had 1,000 Bitcoin and they've lost their digital wallet, and somebody offering to pay the council in England $30 million to dig through the dump to try and find his zip drive because he had over $700 million in Bitcoin attached to a digital wallet that he couldn't find. So it really, look, you don't know what these things could do. I'm not saying that that's where in the position, but think with the end in mind. I think that that's always a positive intent from a business owner, to think with the end in mind. In this case, I expect my wallet to be very valuable. I take all steps to secure it, and I make sure that, you know, I make sure that I can recover it.
Well, it's certainly relieving to know that my wallet was secure when I had my backup phone that is not updated. So word to the wise, everyone, back up your seed phrase before you update your phone or upgrade your phone. So, but I had one more question. I think this one's very specifically for Shane. It's a bit more technical in relation to blockchain. I read somewhere that blockchain has withdrawn from Qoin. Is there something coming in its place?
Yeah, so all digital currencies work on the blockchain. So if you think of the blockchain in simplistic term, the blockchain just means that no one owns the data. So back in the day, in the 80s, in the 90s, you would go to the hospital and the hospital would have all of your records for your health. Nowadays, everything is held on what they call the blockchain, meaning no one effectively owns, they own a ledger of the same information, but multiple computers around the world will hold that information, meaning no one that can then hold that information for ransom. And it gives a lot more freedom back to us as a species. And we're seeing blockchain being used in health. We're seeing it being used in automotive. You know, now you can just put a registration number in and everybody can bring up all details of your car. That information is no longer held by corporations, it's held in the blockchain. And when we're talking about cryptocurrencies work in that blockchain, meaning that even if they turned around tomorrow and said, you know, for whatever reason, and I'm just speaking hypothetically, but Qoin is no longer allowed to operate in Australia, delete everything, and let's say Australia just disappeared from the map for whatever reason, Qoin still exists. And it exists because it exists in the blockchain, which will exist in multiple different versions around the planet. No one can stop it. No government owns it. No individual owns it. And quite frankly, it can be scary for some people to think about that, but also it should be quite liberating when you think of us as business owners being unlocked out of that box and really having the opportunity now to work with some of the bigger corporations, to be able to access some of the high-end data of some of these things, and really be able to manipulate like that. So when you think of the blockchain, think of it's unrestricted, it's deregulated data, essentially, on that scale. And that's where the cryptocurrency really thrives, and that's where it exists.
Okay, I'm not sure if that kind of answered the question. There's still the uncertainty there. I think it was ABC put out an article, Gold Coast cryptocurrency Qoin terminated from blockchain Australia. Does that mean that they're using alternative blockchains outside of Australia or something?
Can I just get you to repeat the question just a little louder? Sorry, I've just got a...
Yes, sorry. So I'll share my screen just quickly.
I can actually answer that for you, Shane, if you don't mind. So Qoin have actually come back and said Qoin formally responds to Blockchain Australia notice. Further to the announcement made regarding our acceptance of a member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, also our relationship with Blockchain Australia being terminated, we would like to update our community. So any information that you're wanting can be on the qoin.world website, and it will detail what has gone on there. Basically, just that there's an abrupt change in Blockchain Australia's attitude towards Qoin. There was a few things that I'm not going to read it all, but basically...
yeah, my apologies. I actually didn't understand the question, sorry. When you said blockchain, I thought we were talking about the concept of blockchain, but that's actually a company that calls themselves blockchain It's like, you know, they're just using that in their part of their name. So no, that's a dispute basically between Qoin and them, and they will sort that out. Most big entities do. It's just fancy wording around the name of their company that makes it look like it's actually part of something that's freelance when it's actually a private company, and they're all having fun with each other. So they can play that out. That's their deal, not mine. Above my pay grade, sorry.
No, you're right. Forgive me, my ignorance there. Blockchain Australia. Okay, so it's not, blockchain is it's like saying someone can the grass has withdrawn from the company. It doesn't work that way. So blockchain Australia is like ranking Australia. It's
no.
ranking, and they don't control blockchain. It's just a company. Okay, well that makes sense. That's very clear now. Thank you. Over to Kerry. I think she's got a couple of questions for you.
After some advice, Kay, obviously you mentioned that you have 10 clients on Qoin at the moment. So I'm just after some, I guess, advice on the best way to advertise your services and products on the store to be able to get clients. So I guess, what's your process? What did you do?
Basically, I looked at Facebook. So there are a couple of Facebook groups that you can be in, one for women in particular being Qoin Queens, sorry, gentlemen, women only at that one. And people that are Qoin merchants have said, hey, I'm looking for somebody. So I've done that. I've also ran just an ad in there when I first started and said that, you know, I'm prepared to offer this to 5 Qoin merchants at a 10% discount. And that's how I started. But I will say I could have a lot more Qoin merchants. Unfortunately, I need to have a balance between cash and coin. So 10's about my limit.
I think that's a really important point. Something that we work with business owners when they come in, it's not about how do they generate coin, it's how do they manage cash flow. Kay mentioned it earlier, that you still have taxes and you still have suppliers and you still have certain staff members that you have to pay with cash. So that's where working with an agent, a qualified agent that understands business, really comes into the fore, because we're actually able to work with you then and say, okay, well, this is the spare capacity in your business. This is the amount that you could earn without putting any strain on the cash flow of the business. And then we're also able to, at that point, allow the business owner to work on strategies on increasing their cash flow. And we can do that through Qoin, and we do that through 3 big major means. And that is, you accumulate Qoin through new sales, new customers, but then you use that Qoin to offset expenses by bringing on suppliers and people that you can offset expenses with. Sometimes that might be getting shirts printed. It might be, you know, stationery needs. It could be anything along those lines. Social media. It could be getting websites done. So they're offsetting their expenses, which increases the amount of cash that's available in their business by not just the amount that they've reduced by expenses, by the amount you've got to put that original profit amount on top. So it really does start to increase the cash flow of the business and give business owners, most people, when they think of Qoin, they think, well, hang on, I'm reducing the cash because I'm reducing the amount of sales that I'm making in cash, right? And changing that to Qoin. But that's not the way to think about this. The best way to think about this is, what is the idle capacity? It's the part of the business that's currently not making money. How much of that can we convert into Qoin? And then how much of that Qoin can we then offset on your expenses? That will increase more cash flow in the business and give you more liquidity to then expand and expand as a business owner.
Thanks.
What is a really good thing too for all of us, because we're all, you know, we're all looking at Qoin. Everywhere you go, ask if they accept it. The more people that hear the word, then slowly more people are going to come on, and we'll be going, what's cash? We don't know what cash is.
So I thought I might ask everyone here, because we're all on Qoin, what is your favorite thing that you've bought or purchased on Qoin so far? I'm going to go with Kebab Zone in Browns Plains. They've got amazing charcoal chicken. I get it weekly.
Well, for me, it would, oh gosh, I've got so many, but probably the Terrace Seafood restaurant in Mullaney. They do 100% coin. They're pretty amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, look, how do I answer this? I bought a lot of things on Qoin. We've had an amazing couple of experiences. I bought some jewelry, as I said last night, for my girl. She's not home from work yet, so she doesn't know what that is yet. I've seen amazing personal purchases, like being able to go on holidays. We went to Noosa for a couple of days, all on Qoin, spent restaurants up there, all on Qoin, amazing things like that. But I think the real, they're the fun things. I've seen people buy cars and houses and boats. I've heard of somebody buying a plane. It's unbelievable what people have been able to buy from Qoin. But the main factor is, while it's almost like that's the cream on the top, being able to survive 2020, to be able to hear Carly say, screw 2020, let's get into 2021. And for us as business owners to be able to grab that opportunity and shift our way of thinking enough to be able to say something new, open that up for new possibilities and beyond. And I think that's the greatest thing I've seen as a master. It might sound corny, but that's something that really excites me going forward.
I just thought I might mention that the giveaways that we have had on the toolkit last month and this month were actually purchased on Qoin. So the $50 iTunes gift card has been purchased on Qoin. So yay for Qoin. Kerry, what was your purchase on Qoin recently?
I'm so new, I haven't even purchased anything yet. I'll probably get off today and go and buy something.
I have to tell you, Kerry, and Carly too, because you both knew, it's so exciting. Like, I went yesterday and got eyelashes, not that you can see them. I didn't reach for them, but I reached for my phone, and look, in some respects, you have to be careful because it's really like not spending money. And it's so easy to do. And there's more and more different businesses coming on. It's really exciting. And I was talking to another lady that I did some other beauty stuff with today, and she said about where she's been and hair and nails. And I know you're really interested, Shane, in getting your nails done. And you too, Nathan. But it's, the different areas that we're going into businesses that we would have never ventured to.
Mm.
And I say to people, treat the bonus. So when you join Qoin, they give you, some bonus money, and it's like 20 coin, right? Which is like $160 odd. Treat that like your very first paycheck. Like, go out and blow it. Just go and spend it. Right. Okay. They gave it to you. So go out, grab a business out of the directory, go find something, go spend some money on yourself, go get your nails done, go out to lunch, just go spend it. Just get rid of it. Enjoy it, because you want, at the same time, you're understanding how the transactions work. You're getting to see the app work. You're getting to see, nothing's more real. Me and Kay went and had lunch the other day up at the terrace up there at Mullany, and, fantastic lunch up there on Qoin. We've had so many great experiences. There's so many places around that are using Qoin now. The first thing out of my mouth is, do you take Qoin? I went, we got a new PT trainer. He takes 100% Qoin. He started giving me some exercise stuff, and he's like, you're going to need kettlebells and you're going to need this. And I'm like listening to him, and he goes, go right next door. They take Qoin. I went right next door and 100% Qoin, bought everything I needed, and work with us as well, because me and Kay are clearly agents for Qoin. So if there's somewhere that you would like to see on Qoin and you have a relationship with them, make that introduction. Let us do the thing for you to help them get on. The whole concept around this is what we call Met class law. It's like, the bigger the network gets, the more valuable it becomes. And we want to create that network to spread out so that you can walk down any street in Queensland, any street in New South Wales, Victoria, Perth, wherever, and know, I can go in there and spend my Qoin if that's what I choose to do. That's great.
And where it gets even bigger is because we're already in New Zealand. You can go to New Zealand and those that accept Qoin, there are no exchange rates.
Yeah.
Nobody takes any money. It's a straight trade.
And you can go to New Zealand now for the next couple of days.
And if you need somebody to be your tour guide, known as Ringy, I'll go.
On Qoin too, I bet.
On Qoin, yeah.
I recently got my my tires done on Qoin, cars serviced. I've gotten groceries. I think there was a few technical difficulties, so that was just up the road here. So unfortunately, I've had to find somewhere else. But there's Logan Lee still. I think they trade 50% Qoin, Logan Lee IGA. That's obviously for groceries, not smokes or lottery tickets, but there's still plenty of opportunities there to just locally here in Logan area. I know that the Gold Coast is just swarming with popularity for Qoin, and Sunshine Coast is very active with the networking. I think with Qoin K. I've seen a lot of interaction on the Queens Facebook group, but it does appear that there's a lot more on offer through the Qoin Facebook groups, as far as like actively trading whatever, and people asking as well, have you got this? I need this. Is there anyone on Qoin? So I think
that's always a good and a bad thing, Katrina. You know, it's one of those things. Facebook is like modern day graffiti sometimes as well. You know, it's one of those things. It's unhandled. And while I see a lot of good people on there, really being positive around the Qoin movement and sharing good experiences and doing all these things, is also sometimes you often see some people on there that are saying some negative stuff, or, you know, trying to share some misinformation, whatever that may be. And because we are so new, I think it's always handy for people when they're, especially in business, they understand that these things happen in three phases. First, they're ridiculed. It's that will never work. You know, these things don't work, blah, blah, blah. No. The second thing is it's violently opposed, because all of a sudden you're starting to challenge their inner belief system. And then the last thing is it's accepted for truth. Now, we've seen that with the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency movement over the last, 12 years. You know, it was at one stage 0.008% for Bitcoin. Had you invested $100 in Bitcoin when it started, you would have made nearly $100 million. That's what it would have converted to now. It's unmanageable to think that that's what's happened, but that's what's happened. And what we need to do is, first, it was ridiculed. I was offered Bitcoin back in the day. I laughed at it. I'm sure a lot of us did. You know, I'm kicking myself now, but what do you do? It didn't seem right. Then it was violently opposed. I did that myself. I was like, I had friends trying to talk me into doing things, and I got angry with them. No, you can't do that. What are you doing? You're throwing your money away. And then finally it's accepted for truth. And we're going to see the same thing in Qoin. We see the same thing on social media. There's people out there, sometimes they get angry about it. They get agitated. They get really animated. And I think that that's a good thing, because that shows me they're in phase 2. And, we'll be waiting for them when they get to phase 3.
One of the things that I also like to mention with that I found, when we look at two different types of currency, so you've got, when you're using your Qoin wallet, you've got your Australian dollars, but you've also got this Qoin money. Always deal in Australian dollars, because we have an idea or a concept of how much value it is, and just let the wallet convert it to Qoin. You don't need to worry about what the conversion is. Just let the wallet do it. So if you're selling a product at $100, make sure that the wallet says it's in Australian currency, and put in, or get your clients to put in 100 and convert it.
Yeah, that's the way I do things too, Kay. I think that's really solid advice. Great job.
Nice. What a brilliant session, guys. There's so many, obviously, questions that's kind of been answered with this session. So really a pleasure to have you on board, Shane. Thank you for joining us. Please do feel free to jump in any Wednesday. We'd love to have experts on the scene. So, and we do have some interest there to ask future questions on Qoin. So please do feel free to join us on a Wednesday. Wednesday. Don't mind if you have your lunch with you, that's fine. Kay, thank you so much for putting the presentation together. It really is a pleasure to know that how much you actually are aware of the Qoin world. So, and you're our resident, our Qoin agent. So, really nice to see that expertise as well come through along with the social media. So, brilliant. So, thanks again for the questions. Thanks for jumping in, guys. Nathan, I didn't see that you had any questions. Did you want to add anything before we finish up for today?
I've been talking to Kay about some services, so that's where I'm at. That's my first purchase, so I'm still learning here. I have to see how that first transaction goes, but it's yeah, it's great to see another way we can like work with other businesses and yeah. So we'll yeah. So I'll keep talking to Kay, and yeah, it's that yeah. I guess I've heard a lot of people like come out of the red or you know, had their businesses basically blossom through 2020 because of it. And I thought, well, that's great if it can, you know, if it can help small businesses find small businesses and find their way in the market. Like, I think that's such a great thing, you know. So yeah.
Brilliant. I do believe that it was fantastic for those during 2020, but I can guarantee you it has skyrocketed in only the you know, coming into 2021. That's when it's really started getting some value and kicking off, I think, because one, people were trading more, and they obviously had some dollars to put into Qoin as well. And obviously people meeting more as well with the restrictions lifting. So, yeah. But I just wanted to bring in there as well. I had invited a representative from Bartercard, but unfortunately they couldn't make it. But I thought I might just put it out there as well that if anyone is trading on Bartercard or is in Bartercard, they can actually purchase I think the Qoin blocks, 2,500, and then some. Ask your Bartercard agent for more information, but at 50/50 Qoin, they're still offering, I believe. So ask Bartercard about that. But it does mean that, you know, potentially spending 1,250 as opposed to in cash, as opposed to the whole 2,500 to get that block to invest in Qoin. But without further ado, a big thank you again for everyone joining us today. And a reminder as well that we've got the competition there for our digital champions. So anyone who is sharing content, engaging with posts on Digital Toolkit, and sharing our events, attending the events, you also get an entry. So, you know, jump in, engage, be champions for Digital Toolkit, because we want to help you to, one, get found online, to get paid, and to grow your business. So make sure you join the Digital Toolkit on a weekly basis. Check us out on the Digital Toolkit website, register for the event, and as a member, you get access to the full library of 60 or more videos from last year, and this year it's still growing. So please do check it out. And don't forget Digital Toolkit Visibility Facebook group, where you can get the latest tools, recommendations from the panel as well. So we love helping you with your business, and we want to see you in here to answer your questions. So 2:30, bye for now, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Next session is actually on Facebook ads. So we've got Dante St. James leading that session. So look forward to seeing you then. Bye, guys.